Welcome to the Sight Cabin Podcast, episode 13.
Unlucky.
Episode 13, unlucky for some.
Yeah, but it's my third episode.
It's your third episode. Yes, it is.
Is
It is Andy's third
right,
episode.
okay,
Yeah, Andy's. This is his third time.
Yeah.
Welcome again, Andy.
Thank you.
How are we both? What have we both been up to since we last met? We had Jack on the last episode, didn't we?
We
So
did
what have you been up to, Dan? What's been going down?
Well, my car blew up.
Oh, Danny, what
Yeah.
happened?
So I was driving home from work, and a couple of warning signs came on.
Your car's not even that old, is it?
3 years old. 3 years old.
Piss take.
Piss take. And
you
it
wanna-
has done 52,000 miles.
Do you want to demonise the
It's a Fiat 500.
Fiat 500?
Yeah.
So Fiat, what the hell is
you
going
know,
on?
I was driving home from work, and it blew up. So the engine's gone, head gasket, all sorts of shit.
So unreplaceable, unrepairable.
It's repairable, but I've just realised I'm saying all this. I've just traded. I'm going to trade it in and told them it's in fine working order. It's fucking not.
You have to cut this part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite it.
It's a bit like
Well, it will be in fine working order once it's been repaired.
Yeah, it's going to be repaired.
you know the film
Yeah.
Matilda. You know her dad. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah,
like, I'm
sawdust
going to
in the
get it.
gearbox.
yeah, he
yeah,
puts
yeah.
sawdust in the gearbox
Yeah,
and
brilliant,
like
yeah.
sticks
I
bumpers
wonder
on.
why that he does that.
I presume it's something to do with.
Maybe because if it's grinding and it's maybe smooth the gears out just for so many miles. I don't know.
Sort of,
I have
yeah.
heard that apparently if you ever get like a radiator issue in your engine or like a water issue, to stop the leak in the radiator, if you crack an egg and put that in the water,
Yeah, I've heard
it
that.
will
That,
seal
yeah.
the hole up temporarily.
Yeah,
Whether it's true or not,
that's
I don't
brilliant,
know.
isn't it?
It
Can
is,
you
I mean,
imagine?
yeah, just get us an egg and put it in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that works. Or if
What
that's
if you got a
even-
Ferrari? Just fucking put an egg in it.
Yeah.
It'd be all right.
But yeah, just anything else? Just the car?
Nothing major new. Been working on the garden, a bit of landscaping.
Have you done? You doing some decking, weren't you?
Been done my decking.
Is that finished now?
So finishing my decking. I bought some sleepers. Put all my sleepers in. I bought decking lights.
Nice.
Done all my decking.
Remote control decking lights or
No.
multicoloured decking lights?
No.
Oh,
No.
Danny, Mr.
They're
Trick
from
that.
LAP from Screwfix. LAP
Oh, okay.
lights from Screwfix.
Shout out to Screwfix.
Shout out to Screwfix.
Are they any good? Are they worth?
Excellent.
You recommend them?
Excellent. They're reasonably priced and yeah, excellent. Very happy. But I didn't get them for free.
Yeah, I think really we deserve
they'd be
free
better
decking lights.
free, but-
Screwfix. So
But no, I've been plodding, booking holidays. A lot of I've got a couple of stag do's and best men twice this year.
your best man twice.
Yeah.
Yes. So obviously your best man to myself. I'm getting married.
Yeah.
Andy, you're also my best man as well. I've
Yeah,
got
we're all like a
Can't be
third, aren't we?
arsed.
Me,
Not
Mike,
gonna lie,
and Danny,
Can't be
we're all-
arsed.
Can't be asked. It's such a shit job.
being a best man. Do you
yeah.
reckon?
Yeah, it's shit.
Yeah, but we can split it 3 ways with Dave.
Yeah, it's at least
Does
that
every
way.
man not want to be a best man?
No, definitely not. It's such a pain in the arse. Like, all right, to be fair with yours, you've even, to be fair, you stag do, you've done a lot of the work.
I've done all the work.
You've done all
Yeah.
the work.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but we
Yeah,
have
could
to.
you write the speech for
Right. But like with the other one and best man at, I've done a lot of the organising for the trip and hotels and accommodation and activities. And it's just
Is that for Dave Webb?
It is
Webby?
Dave Webb. but
Well,
Dave-
Webby was on the podcast.
He got the pants.
He got the pants,
got
and
the
he
pants.
also
in
in the Christmas episode. Webby came on the Christmas episode, didn't he? So shout out to Dave.
Shout out to Webb.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
on getting married.
Thanks for getting married in Greece.
Yeah,
Yeah,
appreciate that.
really appreciate that. Yeah.
Cost you a fortune,
It's,
no doubt. But anyway, these things.
Thanks for inviting the wife and kids.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Could have just invited myself.
Where's Webby stag do?
Cork.
Oh, interesting.
Cork, yeah. I am looking forward to it, actually. I've never been. And Roy Keane's just recently, another podcast, Overlap. you know,
Yeah.
Or whatever they call
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
They've just been to Cork and it looked great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So, because obviously we're
It's
going
supposed to
to.
be a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
timing from both Daves
Yeah.
has been amazing. So his is the 25th of August, yours is exactly a month later.
Yes, it is.
So for the wages,
September.
it's great for me.
Yeah, we're going to Budapest.
Yeah, and then he gets married in October, and you get fucking married in November.
Yeah,
so
I do. Yeah, it's
yeah.
just
Yeah, no money left.
cheap
Yeah.
for me.
Andy, how have you been? What have you been up to? Anything? Nothing? Anything interesting?
Not much, really. Reading a book on the Russian Revolution. I don't know.
Andy's literally like the cleverest
I'm all
kind of
right.
like technician in
Yeah.
sort of individual.
I've never
Like,
If I had reading that, I'd be asleep within minutes.
No, it's great. It's a really good book, but it was mental. That's all. I don't. You know, it's one of the things you just know a few dates. But
yeah,
it's fascinating. It's absolutely mental.
the Russian Revolution. I know it is fascinating. I know I'm cracking a smile slightly. It's only because I just don't think anybody. most construction individuals, no offence, because I'm one of them, wouldn't really have.
I don't even know, when is it?
It was well, there's like the Bolshevik one was October 1917.
Oh my God.
But there was one like earlier, like about February, when he got rid of the Tsar, and it was like a central committee. But then they were all infighting for months.
Yeah, welcome to the Russian Revolution
Yeah.
podcast.
It was really good. It's a really interesting.
Do you reckon there is a Russian Revolution podcast?
Yeah, there will be somewhere.
Yeah.
Fucking boring.
I bet there'll be stuff about Ukraine and your fella over there.
Yeah.
He's-
Yeah, that's one of the things you read in. It's stuff's been going on. You know,
Yeah.
it's been mental over there for years. You know what I mean?
Bringing
All
it
that's
back
been
to
fighting.
construction,
Yeah.
there will be a lot of construction work after the Ukraine
Oh,
war.
massively,
Without
yeah.
like any sort of joke here or
No,
pun,
no,
you know.
no. I hope
Because
the
they've
Ukrainians are
flattened
okay. But
cities
They've
in.
battered it, haven't they?
That's what the Russians
Yeah.
do. They just bring artillery in and they just flatten
Pummel
everything.
well, if you speak to people in the who worked in the 50s, our grandparents and
Yeah, bomb sites and stuff,
and
yeah.
they said like it was a great age for construction workers
After
50s,
the
60s.
Second World War.
Also because price
Yeah.
work and everything like that.
Yeah,
So a lot
yeah.
of it was day rate, and
Yeah.
they had to get the economy building, but they had to rebuild Britain.
Yeah, and then
you know.
alternative to that, I think when the wall came down in Germany,
Yeah,
Same,
massive
yeah.
then in sort of like the
reunification.
late 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s, well, going into the 90s, there was a lot of construction people went over to Germany, didn't they?
Yeah,
Because they had mass rebuilds of their towns
Yeah.
and cities.
Well, actually, they did.
Alvida same
In the, in
Oh,
the
of
80s,
course,
actually,
Alvidasein.
before the war came down, it was in the 80s. There were loads of British lads going over, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the fact that they could earn like 2, 3, 4 times the weekly salary over here, you know, and that still exists today in certain industries, but I don't think as much construction anymore. If
I
you
think-
work across Europe in construction now,
Yeah.
you're probably going to
Yeah.
earn a similar salary
But I
to what
suppose
you
the-
could.
The like cost of living over there is going to be similar to
True.
rates to rent.
I think,
and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that
I think
stuff,
it's going to lead us into what we want to talk about
Yeah, yeah.
today, but also like a disaster or a global economy or like anything that affects the economy or anything that affects like a war, what impact it does have. I know we're going to discuss impacts of what today's episode's about.
Yeah. I mean, just carrying
it
on
leads
from
to
that, we'll
construction.
come back to the episode in a second. But come back to that, as in like global incidents or even economic disasters. You know, the very fact that the Hoover Dam was built, and the very fact that
the New Deal, yeah.
yeah, it was in America after the after the crash, after the depression.
After the
Was it
crash.
1912, I think it was.
No, it
or-
was 90. I think the crash was more like the mid 20s.
okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
More further. I think it was
Yeah.
a bit later. That. I think it was like
But
27, 28. I might be wrong.
what
Might
I'm
be
sort
wrong
of
there,
what I'm
a bit
getting at
later.
is the investment into the country.
Yeah, the infrastructure.
Usually starts with a rebuild of the infrastructure or
Yeah.
a reinvestment of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
infrastructure, the railway networks, the road networks,
The only thing I'd say though at
pla-
those
you know,
times,
gas,
they try and
electric, water networks,
Yeah.
all of that.
they try and screw the people down on prices a bit because they say, oh, and it does.
It always happens in a recession. That.
Yeah,
Always
and that's
does.
You know, going back to looking at that, if you're back in the day, you know, you had mill owners, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge mill owners. Okay, and they owned the mill, and everyone worked in the mill. All right, but then everyone that worked in the mill lived in the houses that the mill owner owned.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, a
they
lot of
drank in the
times.
pub that the mill owner
Yeah,
owned,
yeah.
The
and they
shop.
bought food at the shop that the mill owner owned. So if you think about it, the labour was completely free because every penny that he gave them
Yeah, to
was
some
pretty
degree.
much coming
To
back.
some degree, it's like a circular.
Well,
Now-
if you go back even further as well, like in classic to football, that's how a lot of the football started.
Yeah,
From mills in the northern towns.
yeah, no, it did. No,
Yeah.
You know, like the
Like local
Blackburns and
teams.
your
yeah,
Darwins.
that's where it came
You know,
from.
it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
where it
yeah,
came
yeah.
from.
Stockport must have.
And all the money got, even when they started buying footballers, it got pumped back in.
The
so
local
mill,
area.
the mill owners were the owners.
Yeah, yeah. But what I'm getting at is, in terms of global crash, global catastrophes, and then them spending the money in construction, a government doing that kind of know, in a sense, they're a bit like the mill owner, in that
Just going back.
the
yeah.
money is going to come back to them anyway.
Well, that's why it works. Investing in infrastructure always should work in your country
Yeah,
because that money's going back into improving the country and it's paying wages and it's
but
people are putting
you're
that wages
paying.
back into economy.
I'm the government. I'm paying you to work on the roads.
Yeah.
But your tax is coming back to me.
Yeah.
You're
They're improving those roads.
You're also
yeah.
putting money into the economy as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a
a
no-brainer,
win-win.
really.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And I think if Labour get in, to go a bit political there, but if Labour get in, I suspect that's probably what they'll do. That's
Just
what they
loads.
normally do, is invest in like the infrastructure or building projects.
But if some of your infrastructure is in private hands, then they're not like the water at the moment. There's big Thames water debate, isn't it? They've been borrowing loads of money paying dividends, and they've not been improving the infrastructure, and they've been pumping a lot of wastewater.
Yeah, so
into
it's
the
all
rivers.
it's all shit creek basically.
Yeah, I think things like your basic infrastructure should be in government hands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As long as
not communist or anything, but the basic stuff like
yeah.
transport and your utilities,
Yeah.
they should be in the government hands.
Yeah, well, look what's happened to the railways recently.
I know.
I mean, I don't blame them for striking, but even so, God, this has turned into like a political.
Very
Well, we're going to get more.
I was
political.
going to say, like, wonder what in construction the figures are between, if you're Labour, Conservative. They've got to be Labour.
Oh, I would
I don't
assume.
know. I think
Got to be.
because being self-employed. I
Let's
think
Google
it's
it.
Weird. There's always a weird disconnect because it's like, who told me that about Labour, about unions and then also self-employed working class? There's a disconnect because we're all like, we go out there and we have to do it ourselves.
You'd
type
think
of
it
thing.
would be
We're
Labour.
not together.
You'd think it'd be Labour in construction.
I think there's a definite sympathy there for Labour.
Yeah, I would have thought it would be Labour. Okay, so leading on to today's episode.
Yeah.
So today's episode, we thought we'd discuss, kind of like house prices, but the lack of houses in the UK, the lack of good, affordable homes in the UK, what house prices cost, kind of this sort of subject. So I've got a few little statistics for us to... So do you know what the average UK house price is today?
I'm going to say 330,000.
Okay.
I actually know this because I looked it up this morning.
Oh, did you?
Have
Have
you
you...
something like 280 something
It's
thousand?
correct, Andy. It's 285,000
He's
pounds.
revised.
No, I've just because I knew I've lit
Yeah.
a few little notes. to
Well,
put on
Danny,
this.
at least he
Yeah,
takes the
I've
podcast
revised.
serious.
Yeah,
Okay.
Danny just turns up basically. So yeah, you're absolutely right. The average house price in the UK
286 or something like
is
that.
I've got 285, so 286,000.
Say, yeah.
All right. So what's the average deposit on a house?
It's
Well,
supposed to be
10%.
traditionally 10%.
10%. Still is. Yeah, it still is. It's what
10%.
they asked
So
for
what's that?
as
So,
best you can.
So what's that? 285,000.
200,
Right. So
285.
10% is 28,500.
So you need to find 28,500
Right,
to buy.
But so then that leaves you
But I've got the
with
statistics.
2,553, right, roughly.
Danny's just doing.
So
the
then,
maths.
so then, to buy a house on your own, the average you have to be on more than
It's 3 times. isn't it?
£70,000 a year.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
No, sorry,
This
more
is-
than that.
d- d-
That's
but-
fucking mental.
And it is mental, but bear in mind, this is the average price of a house.
Yeah.
It's not the average first-time buyer's house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go into that.
You can go a bit, yeah. I know what you
Andy,
mean,
go
like-
on. You were going to say. What you
Well,
going to say?
Have you done stuff like from like 40 years ago or anything like that?
No,
Statistics?
please,
Right.
feel free.
There's some really interesting stuff here. 1983, so 40 years ago,
Yeah.
the average house price was about 23,000.
So 1983, 40 years ago.
The average house price was 23.
£23,000.
UK Gov, so it's the actual government.
Yeah. So
statistics.
before anyone starts slating us about our statistics are wrong, have some of that.
Right,
Um,
and I've gone up a few years. So then 1993, it's 55,000.
for the average house price.
So in 10 years, then it doubled and a bit, really.
I mean, it's just phenomenal.
But at the same
This
time,
just wow.
But at the same time, the wages in 83 was 8,500. That's the
Yeah.
average national wage.
Yeah.
But then in 1993, the average wage was double that. It was 17,700.
Wow.
So really, house prices and wages
Kept up.
had kept up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Which is important because
it is.
if they don't, you
you get that
you-
disconnect.
you're left
Well,
behind.
Let's do it now.
Right, and then 93, so it's 50. Then 2003, this is the big jump. So 10 years on, it goes from 55,000 to just under 130,000 pounds
My God.
in 10 years.
Wow. So just say that again, but say what them figures stand for, Andy. Sorry.
Right, so April 93,
Yeah.
the average house price was 50. Actually, April 93, up to 97.
Yeah, the average
House price stayed stable at 55 because there was a recession.
Yeah, there was a recession. And what was the average salary at that year? Did you say?
From 93 it was 17,000.
Right.
Wow. Wow.
So it's about
yeah, it's still
It's actually
So,
pretty
so,
good.
so it's basically a quarter.
it's for average wage to average.
It's nearly a quarter.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the difference. It's a quarter.
Yeah, no, it is. Which is kind of
So
they
now
always
it's
reckon a
now,
quarter
now
rent.
it's
a
not
quarter.
even a tenth.
Yeah.
But then the big
No,
jump.
that's the deposit you're thinking about.
No,
Dan.
no, I'm not. Like
So go on, carry on.
The
Sorry.
big jump came 93, or 97 to 2003. It went from 55,000 to 129.
Wow. Wow.
So it's
I
more
wonder
than
what.
doubled.
So what? I mean, and this is sort of kind of rhetorical in a sense, but what caused that? What was it that caused that massive jump?
Labour came in, but
Yes.
at that same
97 Labour came in.
97, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm not blaming Labour.
Things
At the same time, the economy was improving just as Labour came
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. It was a bit of a bumper time, I suppose,
It
wasn't
was,
it?
so-
Funny enough, I bought my first house in 1997 as well.
you
I was
did.
going to
And
say
you bought it for
you got
something
a good
similar. I remember
time.
you
I
buying
bought
it,
my
something
first
similar.
house for 36,000, right?
You could afford it.
And in 4 years, it doubled.
Mad.
It doubled in price in 4 years. I sold it for like 70, well, whatever the double is, 70 something thousand, and happy days.
To go from that.
How much was the pyramids at that time?
Oh yeah.
How
Oh,
much
yeah,
was the
pyramids
what?
in
Your
Stockport.
age, your pyramids in Stockport. Like, I wonder if you could buy them.
You mean? Well, I don't know what you mean. The pyramids.
Well, I mean your age.
I don't even know.
You're that old because.
Oh, fuck off.
It's a Great Wall of China.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was totally. When you said pyramids in Stockport, I thought you meant the glass pyramid in
No,
Stockport.
well, yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
I see what you
yeah,
mean. You're right. Sorry. Go on, Andy. Go on.
Right,
Carry on.
going on.
This is good.
Right. So wages in '93 was say 17,000,
Yeah.
and house prices in 2000. Wages only went up about £3,000 in 10 years, while house prices
Carried
pretty
on.
much doubled.
Again, doubled again.
So house prices doubled from '93 to 2003, but wages only went up about £3,000. They went up about what 18%, while house
18%.
prices went up 100%.
Yeah.
That's how.
So that's the big jump there. That's the start of the big jump. But I think that's a lot to do with there's not enough social housing.
Yeah. There absolutely isn't.
And there's not enough housing being built at the time it was I think the recession took a load of lads out of the industry.
Yeah.
And at the same time, though, I think house builders were starting to drip feed houses in.
Yeah, and if you look at one of the biggest building sites across Europe, private housing sites across Europe at the moment is in the UK. I'm not going to say where. If you want to Google it, you can find out where it is. Okay, because I don't want to, sort of annoy anyone or piss anybody off.
Yeah.
But the house prices on that particular estate, I think you both probably know which one I'm talking about.
Is it
But
quite a local one?
yeah, but they're massive. They're like
Oh,
you've got houses there at
Oh,
like
I know what you mean.
1.2 million pound.
They're
And
not social.
I think the cheapest house on the biggest estate, don't quote me exactly, is around 300-ish
No,
grand.
I think
and
you're
I think
right,
that's
yeah.
like an apartment, not a house, actually.
That's
And,
shocking.
and it's just
Well,
frightening
The
how.
average wages now are about 30,000.
Yeah.
Right, so the average wage can't buy the average house.
Now, just to clarify on the average wage, so the average wage
Right,
does
well,
change geographically. We
It
spoke
does.
about this before.
Now, and also you've got your medium and your mean, and this
Yeah.
is like taking into account your big
Yeah.
earners and your smaller.
So I always
But
want to make
really,
a point when we talk about the average salary and the average wage and the average wage across the UK is dependent. There is an average wage across the UK, and you're right, it's 30 grand. But before we get comments, because we always get them, is it also depends on your geographical
it does.
location.
Like London pushes stuff out of
Yeah,
whack.
there's
as
an
well.
average wage in London. There's an average wage.
Same with house
Yeah,
prices
okay.
in London.
In Newcastle.
That pushes like.
But then
25%
compare
out of
it per city, area, whatever you want to call it. What is the average price to the so like if you the average wage in London, say I don't know, I'm going to guess at 45, 50,000
I've
a year.
actually got it, but I can't. Just,
What's the average house price in London?
Oh, that's
About fucking £1 million.
No, I think actually it's like
I've got it right now. I've got
Go
it
on.
right now.
Right.
The average house price. This is in 2022 in London.
Go
is
on.
it £1 billion?
£518,900.
Half a million.
So it's over £500,000.
So what's the average wage in
So-
London?
So you've got to be on 150,000.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
About that to pay.
oh, and by the way, that's to buy the
more than
average house.
That's more than the
Yeah.
Prime Minister.
What were you going to get for London in that?
I
A
think the
flat?
Prime Minister's not on that.
Yeah, well, I'll go through if you want. Average house price in London, 518k. And then South East, 362k. East Anglia, 336k. South West, 281k. East Midlands, 238k. West Midlands, 235. North West, 212,000 in the Northwest
Yeah.
average. Wales, 199,000. I won't say them all. Cheapest area to buy a house currently in the UK, average price.
Bridgington.
Northeast.
Not British, North East, Andy, correct, yeah.
North East.
£175,000 in the North East.
100 and what? Sorry.
175,000. That was in 2022. It might have crept up a little bit. That's
yeah,
the
but
stat.
saying that that's still high for an average wage because the average wage is still about 30,000.
Yeah. So even at 175k for your average
That's
house,
still only two wages on.
So
30 grand.
hold on. The average,
well, basically,
the cheapest place is 175,000.
North East.
Right. The average wage for the UK is 29.
29.
Let's call it
Say-
30.
let's say
29
30.
to, I'd say
30,
29 to
30 grand.
32.
And I know there's
Right,
going to
30,
be
call it
there's
30.
going to be
Call it
local
30, so
and it's gonna be-
369.
There's going to be a lot of people on 35 and a lot of people on 25.
Yeah, of course.
Right,
I
so
know that.
369, they'll give you, what is it, 3.5?
The Goose Drank Wine, the Monkey
Right.
Chewed Tobacco one this week, Caroline. Sorry, it's an old poem. 369, the Goose Drank Wine, the Monkey Chewed Tobacco.
So you get, so
Clap hands.
It's like a
you'd
bus number,
need
really,
a
isn't it? 369.
£50,000 deposit.
Yeah. Well,
And how are you going to get that on 30 grand a
I
year?
suppose it's the bank of mum and dad,
So,
isn't
so
it?
just go, I know we're going up. Just to go back to house prices. So from from 97 to 2003, house prices doubled, but from 2003 to 23, which is 10 years,
Yeah.
it doubled again. But that's 20 years, not that.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
That 93 to 2003.
That's the key.
gap.
That's the key year. That's
Those
the key,
key
period.
10 years.
The key period.
Because wages didn't keep
My-
up with
no,
the doubling of the
and
prices.
they've never recovered.
But I know they say we haven't had much inflation before that period until recently. But if
Yeah.
you look at asset prices,
Yeah.
then inflation has gone up. But wages haven't kept up with it.
No, that's it.
It's the wages, not
Wages
keeping
is
up.
the problem.
Like goods, like TVs, clothes, food. That's actually kept pretty reasonable until recently.
Yeah.
But it's assets that went up. But I don't think they include assets in the inflation price.
Assets as
They
in
should have done.
No.
Assets as in capital, as in houses, as
Yeah.
in property, as in shares, things like that.
We're being done, all of us.
So it's that. I think it's that. The biggest one was the. But wages have stagnated for a long time. Wages should have been going up a lot more for the last 20 years.
But do you know what's the current interest rate in the UK today?
Is it
7%, 6.5%.
It is. I've just googled it now. So this is as of recording today. We're on the Bank of England. Come on. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute, guys.
So they are
It's
mental
been
lows,
done.
aren't they?
Yeah, mental figures. I
But
mean,
it's not, like I said, I know house prices doubled.
It's
between
always been
83 and
wages
90, but so did
catching up.
wages.
Wage-
It's that wage band.
it's the
to
wage.
house price
Yeah,
band.
it is. Yeah.
But then you have a discussion about. I know people see houses as an asset and as an investment, but maybe are they a human right having something somewhere to live?
Oh,
Is there a
absolutely.
discussion to be had about that?
Absolutely. It should be. It absolutely has to be. How can
basic
it,
human
How
right.
can it be?
I'm not
how,
talking about living in a mansion.
How can it be? Here's one. How can it be that you live in any civilized society,
Yeah.
work 37 hours a week,
Yeah, and you
and
can't-
still can't afford to live somewhere?
Anybody
afford
who
your
goes
rent.
to work
Some people can't
and
afford
in
the
any
rent.
job,
How
well,
can
no
that-
matter what they do,
how can that
should
be
be able
right?
to own their own house.
They should, yeah.
That is it, or
I remember
flat.
It used to be a 2 up, 2 down. That's
Yeah.
just fine.
I mean, the
But they're
interesting
not
And if
thing
you
making
there
them
is-
can't,
anymore.
it's
if-
They're
bullshit.
not making them anymore, though.
The interesting thing there is what you just said there. I'm not disagreeing with you because I don't really disagree with you, but I will throw this in. There are a lot of countries. I can think of America straight away as one, where the ratio to ownership to rented is far more weighted in rented. You know,
It's like that in France as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite a few countries in Europe. I think the UK especially, we do have a higher ratio of owned properties.
That's
to
going back a
rented.
bit. That's
But I
going
think
back.
that will be dropping
It's
with
more,
what's
it's more based on morals. I just think if you work hard, no matter what job you
You
do,
have something to show
you
for
should
it.
be able to. You should be able to afford to buy your own piece of land. Like you work
Yeah.
hard for it.
Yeah.
What's
a
wrong with
big
that?
problem started though. I think was which I thought was a great idea was the buy your own council house that Margaret Thatcher brought in.
Fabulous idea.
You know,
And and
it's like
so many people.
stakeholder society. That's
Yeah.
really great in democracy.
Yeah, and so many people took
Did
that
it?
option
But
up.
they didn't replace those houses.
No, they didn't. That's the
the
key thing.
councils should have replaced those houses,
Yeah.
built more houses, and
Yeah.
it's like this conveyor.
Yeah. If you've got a million social houses in the UK, I know
Yeah.
that's not. There's more than that.
But there should be a place
but-
where council can give people.
a quarter of them people buy them houses. That means you've got 250,000 houses completely lost to social housing straight
But then
away.
you should replace them with the money that you took off.
Yeah,
them.
that you've. Yeah. So where has that money gone? Where's that money gone? When somebody's bought their council house, where's that money gone? What's that money been spent on? It's not been spent on replenishing social houses. It's probably gone to some.
Well,
Well,
you
I
could
don't
say it's
even
gone to
know.
gone to the government for whatever government scheme. I mean, you could say the welfare state or the NHS or.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd have to actually go into the details of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't understand how you can't
It's a
replace what. That's the biggest shortfall. That's the problem we've got is that we've not replaced the social housing that gap.
750,000 shortfall at the moment in houses in the UK.
I think we've got 2 million that we need or something more.
Yeah, over the next.
Oh, do you mean sorry? How many?
Yeah, currently, I think.
And then at the same time, we've only got, if I'm right, 5 big house builders, haven't we?
Yeah. They usually say the 5 big house builders. Should we
that's
try and name them?
basically
Right.
Taylor Wood Wimpy.
Wimpy.
Taylor Wimpy. It was Taylor Woodrow.
Right.
Taylor Wimpy. I think.
Redrow?
Yeah. Red
Red
Row,
Row,
definitely.
Persimmons,
Persimmon, yeah.
Wayne Homes, not Wayne Homes. is it Wayne Homes.
Bellway, I'd say.
Bellways.
Sorry,
Bellway.
Bellway.
Can we think of the other one? What's the
Should be able to know
fifth
the other
one?
Persimmons, Red Row,
Taylor Wimpey.
Taylor Wimpey,
There is
Bellways.
5.
I'll Google it. Let's Google it.
It's like the five. The
But
five
no,
main
yeah, but you can
mafia
say
family, innit?
really, there used to be 1,000 house builders in like the 60s and 70s. There was
Yeah.
loads, but they were all gradually banded
Mm.
together, bought out, sold out, and now it's a bit of a monopoly.
Oh yeah, we got them all set for Barratt.
Barratt, of course,
yeah.
Barratt.
Barratt Homes. So what does them five? What do them five?
To be
The
fair,
power that them
They've got it
five
stitched
builders
up. They should be
hold
forced to start building houses for the land that they've got.
across the UK.
to be fair,
That is some serious power.
a lot of those houses now, I believe they have a lot of those building companies. And I've actually been on a few of their sites recently. And on every site I've walked on, they have to build an amount of social housing. Is it 25%?
well, I don't think it's social housing. I think it's affordable.
Affordable,
But
that's
what's,
it.
but what's affordable?
But the problem is,
Well,
what's
true.
affordable in Cheshire is completely different to what's affordable in Newcastle.
Well, here's a great one for you. So actually, you mentioned Newcastle. I was up in a place recently.
Shout out to the Geordies, by the way.
So I love the
Why I man?
That's a beautiful city.
By the way, Backer Grove's coming back. Just thought
Oh,
I'd throw that out
that.
there.
That's
Yeah.
big news.
Yeah, Backer Grove.
Well, really, we should be talking about that for the
Yeah.
next half an hour, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
PJ.
Oh no, Deck. Oh no. Sorry, that's a really poor. Go on,
can
Danny.
remember-
Sorry, you were saying.
And I was on a site up in, oh God, where was it? It was north of Newcastle, and about 30 minutes out of the centre. And a 4-bedroomed house on there was 210 grand. And it was lovely.
I bet
You
it
see that's
right. Here's
that sounds of
And it was lovely.
Right, so
bedroom. That sounds.
look at this.
Right.
I've crossed my arms.
And I was seeing somebody working in there. When I
Right.
say seeing, I was observing them. And
High-powered telescope.
it was a nice spec.
How about this then for a stat? Think about this. It's not really a stat, it's a fact. If you work for one of the big 5 house builders, right, and you're the main buyer for that house builder.
Yeah.
Oh, we need 1 million packs of brick or whatever.
Oh, you've got it sewn
Right.
up.
We'll buy 1 million packs of brick. Okay, great. Well, that's a UK cost for them brick. Yet the bricklayers that you pay to build them houses in London
Different, yeah.
is different to the bricklayers you pay to build
Yeah,
them
yeah.
houses in Newcastle because of the difference in average salary as well. So what I'm getting at is that
How much it costs to build the actual
the cost of the labour changes, but the cost of materials
Isn't
doesn't geographically
And
change.
there's another one as well.
So the cost. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right.
sorry.
I know
But
what you're saying.
But the amount of money that it costs you to build a house in Newcastle,
Yeah.
materials. I mean, I'm not talking about
it
labour.
costs you more.
Will cost you the same in London. Materials, not labour.
That's true.
Materials, not labour. So if you think of it, they've got it. It's a
Yeah,
mafia,
the
really.
difference- The difference is the land price.
Yes, correct.
And another thing that I bet you've noticed this over the last 20 years is they're ramming them in.
Oh, you squeeze them in.
You don't get that. The old house
No.
estates
Well,
in the 80s.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
don't get that
Do
space.
you know that? Do you know what's that?
4-bedroomed houses, and it's like you've got a
Right.
little garden.
What's that common
and enough
phrase?
to get a bin through.
You're
Enough to get a bin
absolutely
through.
right. What's that common phrase? Are you overlooked? You know, if you're looking out, is it overlooked?
Yeah.
They're all fucking overlooked
Is it a
nowadays.
double aspect?
I'll
when
be
you get
honest.
to the
The,
hills?
the reason I was impressed with that site in particular, in
Bit of space.
it
Yeah.
was space. It was a 4-bedroom house, really nice gardens, really nice drives, front garden. I thought, do you know what? It's not bad. This. I even phoned my wife and I was like,
Brucey, let
"Do
us
you
we're
want-"
going to Newcastle.
And listen, for clarity, this absolutely is not an attack on any of the 5 house builders or
It's a
anything like that.
little
Well, what it is, it's just an open conversation about.
This is as a country as a whole. You know, we've not tackled the problem for about 20 years.
We've kind of
It's
ignored
fifth-
it.
We have, because I'm not being funny. It's the any party coming in to say we're going to build loads of houses and your average house price is going to drop. That's electoral suicide.
Yeah, of course it is. It is.
We're going to build 3 million houses.
Yeah.
But also,
But your house price that you're living in currently is going to
it's gonna
drop
drop that. So
significantly.
you might, it's going to stagnate for 20 years.
Yeah, it is
But
electoral
that
suicide.
means your kids can afford a house.
Yeah. Well,
But also,
it's an interesting.
point with
It's
that, man.
no, it's fine. It happens to me all the time. It's interesting. Interest rates today, right now, 5%. They're at 5% right
That's
now.
not bad.
But to be fair, historically, that should be a normal interest rate.
Yeah, now it isn't.
It's been a bit weird since the financial crash.
You're right. They've been extremely historically low
And they've been
interest
borrowing
rates.
loads of money on zero interest
Yeah.
rate. The corporations and everything.
Yeah, so I mean, I think our mums and dads, we're sort of in our late 30s, early 40s. Danny's still.
Danny's in his late 40s.
Danny looks like he's in his late 40s. Yeah, no, you're still in your late 30s, aren't you?
Late.
Even though you do look
Late.
10 years older than what you actually say you are.
Wow.
I think they might.
Someone was surprised at my age today.
So what was my point? My point was that our mums and dads are fond of saying, well, when we were younger, our interest rates were, I think they went up to 70% in
yeah,
one,
but
by
no,
6% in
no,
one day.
hold on.
Wednesday, I think it's Black Wednesday.
Historically, they
That-
got about, say, 10%
That changes
or
everything, though. And
Well,
my
it
dad
does.
always say it right, because in 1983, when house prices went, in 1993, was it Black Wednesday they called it?
Black Wednesday.
Was it
Right.
94 that?
Right.
So it's the same time anyway.
No, so what I'm saying is the average, you're saying here, the average wage was 17,000 and the average house price
It was 55.
was 55, right? So it's basically
Still three
a
times,
quarter,
yeah.
right? It's now the average price to the average house is 10.
Yeah, you could
So
afford
it's not
your
comparable.
mortgage with paying that on that
It
mortgage.
doesn't
you
matter
could
what the
afford
interest
it.
rate was. It's
Yeah, still
bullshit.
like- it's
It
ridiculous.
doesn't
Right.
matter.
As of December 19, as of December 2022,
Yeah.
the monthly mortgage repayment on an average detached UK property,
1,100 quid.
more,
Fucking hell.
£2,041. That's the average mortgage repayment. I mean, I'd say that's got to be
Burn
that.
my fingers.
I mean,
Who the fuck's
people
got
aren't
that?
earning that, but
No.
paying that. I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
no, that's like the whole wage or
No,
something.
no, that's what they say now for most houses
family's
now.
50%.
2 people,
It's
one
gotta
pays
be
the wage,
one wage.
and one is the rest.
Yeah, and
But
I'm
then if
not.
you've got
It's
kids,
fucking
And
stupid.
you're wondering why people aren't having kids.
Yeah, I
They
know.
can't afford them.
I know. I mean, and then you add on top of that, and I'm sorry, I don't want to like add misery to everyone, but I went into the late shop yesterday, right?
know.
And a chocolate,
Is it Revels?
a
Packet of
a
Revels?
Galaxy chocolate,
Yeah,
a
go on.
Galaxy.
This really pisses you
This
off.
is really got
It was £1.85,
Oh my
right?
God, that's
for
ridiculous.
one that's like that big,
Yeah, chocolate's shrinking as well.
and,
last
and
few
it's
years.
like,
No, the
what?
bars, they're shrinking the bars.
What are you even? You know, a pack of Space Raiders now is £1.25 for the supposedly
They
big
used to be
pack.
10p a pack.
Yeah, I know, it's a piss take.
And the average age of a combat soldier in Vietnam was 19.
Oh, brilliant! I love it. Yeah, no, 19.
19,
Yeah,
yeah.
Danny
Yeah.
doesn't remember that song.
No.
I do remember that song.
No, but you think to yourself, how genuinely, and I'll include myself on this.
How the
and
fuck are
our
people-
producer- how are we all?
We can't.
It's a battle, and it's got, and it
Well,
almost has
it's
to
going
be
to affect the economy because nobody's going to be spending anything apart from food and rent and utilities.
basically.
No, I
yeah.
think it might get to a point where everyone just goes, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm not paying it.
It's right.
What are you going to do?
Well, I mean, people did after COVID, didn't they?
No.
During COVID.
Like, there's nothing you
I'm
can
going-
do. I'm not paying it.
First of all, the government can't step in because they're in massive debt.
Well, but you get people in the government saying this is what you should do: give up drinking. What did he say? That guy drinking
Just
wine.
drink water and bread and eat bread every night.
Give up drinking wine and cigarettes.
Well, you drink, yeah, they're the last people to do
I mean,
that.
no, I mean, you know,
What you mean? Because you get it free in the houses, you know,
Ah,
Houses
yeah.
of Commons.
They get a big rate.
It's all free.
It's
Every
big
bar's
club
free.
that.
I think it's
Everything.
subsidised heavily.
No,
I don't know
bollocks.
if it's free.
I know somebody who's
practically
currently
free.
working in there.
I
We
know
all
a
do.
serving MP.
We all know somebody who's currently been working in there.
Yes.
And they've said it's
Yeah.
completely
It's a
free.
racket.
It is completely
It's
free.
bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, it's frightening at the rate that everything is increasing, and it has to, and that's why they're raising interest rates to deal with the
They're
inflation,
trying to stop the inflation.
to
and I get
calm
that.
everything down.
But there's also companies are taking advantage, thinking, "Oh, I'll get a few extra p on this."
Yeah.
Price gouging. It's
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
Ukraine and Brexit and all that. It's also companies just ticking that dial up of price a little
Oh,
bit
it's
to get a
Brexit.
bit more.
Bang,
does
put
it-
10p on it.
Gas has gone down across the world.
Gas
Gas has actually gone down to a normal
Petrol,
level.
petrol has
Petrol
gone down. Diesel's gone back down. But we think what they do is they put it up, and we go, "Oh, you bastards, you've put it up."
And they take it down a
And then
little
they take it down a
bit,
little bit, and we go,
but
"Great,
not
it's
all the
gone
way
down."
down to what it was.
But it's nowhere
No,
near
it's
what
a
it
film.
was.
Morrison's do that a lot.
I don't smoke now. What's the average price of a pack of 20 cigarettes? I'm going to Google that.
No
That's
idea.
because that's always a kind of like,
But everybody's vaping now.
yeah.
You know what
there
they're going to do?
Yeah.
They're going to ban vapes, and everybody's going to be addicted to nicotine. They're all going to go back to the cigarettes.
what's the average? I'm just
what
going
they'll
to
do.
average price.
I don't know. It must be like 12,
20
15 quid a pack or
cigarettes.
something. I don't know.
No idea. I've never.
Oh, Jesus Christ. According to the ONS, I'm not quite sure who they are, Office of National Statistics, sorry, the average price of a pack of 20 was £12.84, meaning that an increase of 12.7% this year takes it up to £14.47. Is that right?
For 20
Well,
cigarettes.
that was in March 2023.
Do you,
So
know,
it's
do you know
like
what? We were onto something years ago though, because in school you could sell them for 50p a cigarette.
50p a cigarette, yeah.
So we were onto
Yeah.
something.
That's
They were
quality.
one
Right.
cigarette.
I wonder what they're
So-
going for in schools now.
so
You were
like-
a dealer.
It must-
Imagine
You were
what
a
it is in
dealer
school.
You're a dealer in school.
Imagine what it is in school. Per se.
I reckon one cig in school now.
Must
and
be a quid. £1.50?
No, it's going to be.
know that.
I'd say
Oh.
£1.50 for a cigarette.
Everybody vapes though, don't they? Apart from the old like any 50 plus they smoke.
There is apparently there's a huge sort of epidemic issue at the moment with school kids and vaping. But it's like, of course there is,
I
because
don't
they're on
like
every single news. They've covered up all the facts, but what's
Fucking
displayed?
liquid
And
everywhere.
it's all like strawberry.
And what are the
whatever and all
flavours
that.
exactly? Oh, pineapple and grapefruit, and
That's what they did with the old Alka-Pops, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, it tastes like Vimto or whatever. Oh, you know.
all of these
Vin-
people, these industries, and going back
Oh,
to
they
the
do.
house builders are the same. They all know that the kids and the have
Sweet
to have
stuff,
them.
Addicts,
like sweet
addicts.
stuff,
They're going to
addicts.
buy them.
Well, crack
So they-
addicts,
yeah,
basically, aren't they?
basically,
Children.
We're all,
Well, I tell you,
Yeah.
if alcohol came out now, if it was a new drug, it'd be banned immediately.
do you reckon? Yeah, I suppose it
If
would.
alcohol, because if the effects it has on
Yeah, if it
society
came
and
out
everything,
today.
you know, but,
You
but
think what
historically
a
over
beer
thousands,
does-
it's thousands of
Yeah.
years old, isn't
Yeah.
it? Drinking
I know.
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I mean, we're all drinking now, aren't we? So
It is good.
it is.
It takes the
I
edge
love a burst in summer.
No, it is, and I mean, it's Andy. Some of them statistics that you just read out, there,
Scary.
and thank you for doing that because it's
But
you know it's
you know
really
what, though, I
nice
did-
to sit back and have somebody else do it for a change, Danny.
But this
No.
is YouGov. The house prices is YouGov.
Yeah. No.
And the wages is the national.
We've had a little.
It's one of the national statistic
what's happened
websites.
Oh,
But
sorry.
challenge me online or whatever. And
might just
but,
have
it's, but it's not much difference.
We might just have to just stop for a second. Oh no, it's the sound.
It's the soundboard.
Sorry, Sol.
Sorry, Sol.
We'll just we'll pause that there for a second and do it after.
Sure.
I think can we just get that going back a little bit, Danny? Pull it back to you. I think it's just pushed it forwards. Who's going to edit this?
No.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah, we
No,
have.
I think you should keep this in. Keep it in.
Should we keep it in?
Yes, keep this in.
Right, leave it in.
Yeah. So for all our listeners,
Does it hook on?
the sound reflecting board
Oh, I know them. Yeah, you
has
hook 'em on.
has come off the wall. That Danny's knocked off the wall.
I think you need
Leave
to
it
stand
in
up.
because we did say
Yeah.
13th episode.
Oh, we did say it's episode. It's episode 13.
Look at that.
And,
It's all going tits up.
and
Come on, Dan.
right,
This is brilliant. Right, we're back on. So yeah, again for our listeners, Danny's knocked the soundboard reflector off, which has pushed the Site Cabin podcast sign forwards. So he's just trying to. That's on, Danny.
that's it. We've got it.
Can we get that back in place?
Oh, God.
No. Oh, I think you might have to get that back in place, Dan.
Done a
Because
bit tonight.
Dan, it's leaning forwards. That.
Right, there you go.
No, it's going to lean forwards. Let's
There you
push.
go. That's it.
That's it. Perfect.
That's it.
What were we saying? I've lost my track. Trainer Fred.
The average age of the combat soldier in Vietnam was 19.
Oh no, we weren't saying that. We were saying, did I have any more stats for you?
I tell you what, I bet they could fucking buy a house at 19 back then.
Well, Mum and Dad bought a house at
There you
19
go.
when
Well,
they were in 1976. They bought a house at 19.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. The interesting, a good little stat is, according to Total Jobs, the average construction worker salary.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a guess at what it is? It's quite.
40.
It's quite high, a bit higher.
45.
Yeah. It's 47,500.
Yeah, I can
That's-
see. That's yeah. I
That's
can see
according to Total Jobs, and that's the average construction worker salary in the UK.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've just thought about something else. If you want to build all these houses, there's not enough lads and girls to do it.
You're absolutely right.
They're
There
not
isn't.
trained enough. That I think that 97, that recession, 93, 97 recession,
It took a lot. Of
that
people
took
out.
a lot out.
And I think 2008
2008,
definitely
I think
did as well.
there has recently been an increase in apprenticeships.
There
It's
has.
definitely.
There's
but
still kids there who want to do it. There is. Who wanna do
If
it.
you are listening and you're not sure about whether to go into construction or not, I personally do believe it's one of the best things
I think so.
you'll ever do in your life is
you
to go
you
into.
do
Well,
something, you accomplish something. every day.
Here's and it leads us back to what we were first talking about. We're talking about house prices and interest rates. What do one people? Unfortunately, sometimes what they do is they don't. They stop spending money on the house.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
Yeah,
And it does
they
happen.
draw in like
Right,
Yeah, they do.
we get it. I'm not scaremongering, but it does happen. It's happened before. But what that also creates in 4 or 5 years' time
Is a huge
is
uplift.
boom.
People,
Yeah.
I need my bathroom doing.
Oh, I need my
an
bathroom doing,
extension.
yeah.
I want my roof doing.
I need this.
It was called
What
the
my
boom and
windows
bust,
doing.
wasn't
Yeah,
it? It was
yeah,
boom and
yeah.
bust. So people would go bust for
But
a
at the
while.
same
and-
time, house builders get ramping up again as well.
yeah, they do. Yeah, no, they
But
absolutely
I
do.
actually think I still think they're going to be building houses because it's still such a shortfall.
I agree.
Even
Yeah,
in the recession,
but it has
used
to
be
be.
recession used to be effective.
It has to be affordable houses now.
It does. I don't
It
like-
has to be.
I think there has to be. I think local councils now, the government has to give them a mandate to say, right, you need 1,000 houses in these areas being built over the
Yeah.
next 5 to
Regional
10 years.
affordable housing.
And it needs to be a local government sourced.
Yeah.
And then also, and don't use the big house builders. Just get independent, self-employed
Or
labourers.
Or why can't
tradesmen to do
councils?
it.
Why can't councils
They could
form
run the job.
Why can't
They
councils
can run
form
the job.
their own construction
Cooperatives or something,
cooperative
whatever it is, yeah.
and do it themselves? Why can't
Yeah.
they do that? It's not
Because
hard.
you can utilise the local tradesmen in your area to
Absolutely.
build it.
Local tradesmen in your area, you employ a few experts to work.
Councils have the land as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the
That's what I mean.
Or the government can give them the right to buy a certain amount of, say, green land. Maybe not too much. a
Why
little
do
bit
they
of
have to?
section.
Why do we have to go to the house builders for this type of building?
Yeah,
they
maybe
can
let them
they
build
can
the big
carry on
houses,
procuring
or
land
the-
and finding
the
land and doing it
semis and the
themselves.
detached and all
yeah.
that. We can build a
why
load of
can't we
terraces.
build? Why can't we build rows and rows of affordable houses in local council land
I
and the
think
council do it?
Terraced houses are still, they can be done in a different way, a decent model.
Fantastic.
Garden at the back.
Of course they can.
A small garden at the parking.
Fantastic.
You can still do it.
I-
It's a local community. It's a good community street.
Yeah.
I recently moved out. Well, this time last year, moved out of a 2 up, 2 down on a main road, and I loved it.
You did because you had loads
Loved
of all
it
your neighbours.
because my neighbours, they were amazing neighbours, and I think one of them's watching. Shout out to Steve.
Shout out to Steve.
Right, Steve watched it, and
Love those sweets.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
He worked at Swizzles.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put now.
Yeah,
I'm
shout
gonna
out to Swizzles. You do,
Yeah,
you do good
Swizzles.
stuff.
Oh yeah! By the way,
Drumsticks. I like the
Swizzles,
drumstick.
you should follow us on TikTok because we started following you on TikTok the
Yeah,
other day.
we'll eat
So
a
Swizzles, you
drumstick.
need to follow us on
We'll all
TikTok.
eat a drumstick live on.
And I tell you what, Swizzles,
And we will
by the
have
way,
a box of sweets, and we will
Swizzles.
Yeah.
Just the one in New Mills. It just needs a bit of maintenance on the windows.
What does
The factory.
Oh, yeah.
the factory?
Good
yeah.
building.
Good,
Good
great
building.
building. But
Great
it
building.
Just needs, you need to keep
Tartan
it
up
out
a bit.
It's getting to November. It's their busiest period.
Oh
But
yeah,
some of the windows
with
need boarding.
Halloween.
Oh, really cold.
Oh no. All the tubs at Swizzles. All the tubs you see in Tesco's and
Yeah.
and bang, all done there.
Like Swizzles.
Steve, my neighbour worked on the drumsticks. That's what he made.
He's on his third set of false teeth.
Oh, drumsticks. That's what he made.
In the UK currently today, there are 5 million homes older than the year 1900.
Yeah.
Gee,
older
you
than
build
the
them
year
right. They last for hundreds of
Yeah,
they can last for
1820.
There are
last house.
there are 9 million houses built around World War II, just after World War
Yeah.
II. 3.2 million houses built between 1930 and 1939.
Yeah.
And then it kind of drops quite significantly until we get to sort of
post-war type of thing.
yeah, sort of it sort of goes up again. Post-war, they actually built about 15 million houses across the UK post World War
We
II,
kind of need something like a jump like that, don't
but
we?
it's dropped
Are you
to.
saying we need a war?
No, we need to look as if we've had a war.
You've been reading that book too much, mate.
But yeah, you've been reading.
We do
Russian.
not.
Andy's
I'll
like,
tell you one thing: we do not need a revolution.
No.
Nobody
no.
needs that.
No, we don't want a revolution.
That's the failure of a
off
society
with his
revolution.
head. Poor old.
No.
I mean, maybe you could chop
There's a couple.
Well,
There's a
that's
couple
what-
you'd
I
think.
tell you what
yeah.
they did do though.
Chop his head off.
That's I've got to say, these too few people with a big slice of the cake. The
Yes.
rich.
Yeah.
What happens when you have that? That's when you get revolution. So make sure people have got a bit, then they'll be happy.
Yeah.
Why do we need billionaires? Why do we need them?
Exactly.
Right. Moving on.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Danny, tell me what that is.
That
And have a look at this.
It's a collapsible.
is collapsible
Square.
engineers rule,
Oh, it's nice, that isn't it?
and that is fantastic.
So, can you talk about it for a second? Do you know? Because I will let you.
Well,
the
it's-
person that owned that is related to you.
It's in inches.
It is in inches. So half of it is, if you fold it in half,
That's not Grandad's. Was
that's
it?
12
Yeah.
inches.
And then
Half again is 6,
Yeah.
and the fully opened is obviously 2 foot, 24.
What if it's just above 6?
What do you mean? Oh, nah.
Like, what if it's between
No,
6
no,
and
no,
4?
no way, no way.
No,
No.
it's a waste anyway.
No, the average size is lot
5.
Yeah, I don't know.
5.
Anyway,
4. Yeah.
so it was a joiner's. A joiner used it. I mean, I suppose anybody could use it, but it was a joiner that used it. Do you know who it was? Do you want to guess it? Who owned that?
I thought this was Grandad's. I'm going to say
Not Grandad's.
Les Barlow.
Les Barlow, correct.
Of course, he was a joiner, Les, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was Les
Well-
Barlow. So it was our sort of relation through
marriage.
through
Through
marriage and
Nice
through
bloke, Les.
yeah, great guy. So
lovely
he was a
bloke.
joiner, and
How have you got this?
because his daughter Gwen gave it me to come on the podcast, basically.
Oh, that's
very
lovely.
good.
So it's
Shout
pretty-
out to Auntie Gwen.
She did,
Shout
yeah.
out
so-
to Les
You're
was
right.
lovely man.
Mum
In
and
fact,
Dad.
he gave me some of his golf clubs when I started golf when I was 13. Les,
Yeah.
he was a lovely bloke, and yeah,
Yeah, no, good joiner. I mean, we did have a row when we built an extension once
It was right.
about the
Right,
roof,
for
and he
sure.
said it was out of square, and
Yeah.
and it no way was out of square. But
Yeah.
we didn't have a row. We just had a heated debate.
Ian mentions that a lot.
Yeah, he mentions it to me all the time. He loves it. Yeah. So yeah,
Well-
it's a pretty cool piece of equipment, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
I mean,
I'm glad
If you had that in your
fantastic.
tool bag
Love it.
today, you'd still use it, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
you would. Yeah.
I think you'd
I
still.
feel bad now talking about 6 inches and
No, don't worry about it. Give over.
That's disgusting.
Les are like that.
Yeah,
Love
of course he
that,
would. Yeah,
like.
of course he would.
Do you know what though? Talking about Les, I mean, this is a bit dark. I'm not sure if Gwen will like this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I know Sam, one of our listeners, and Ryan will love it.
Yeah,
So the
Oh,
person who
Shout out to Sam there.
we'll do it in a
so,
sec. Yeah.
so the person who belonged to that, his grandson, when Les passed away,
Yes.
the last 2 people to be with him alive
Yeah.
were Ryan and Sam, 2 of our listeners.
Oh, so you
I
say
didn't
this?
know that.
Are you saying?
Well, it's somewhat suspicious.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, yeah.
But he's the young age of.
Oh,
80s.
Granddad,
Yeah, the ripe old age.
Granddad, can you?
Just sign this.
Sign this. Bang.
You
Dead.
mean like a kind
Yeah,
of
they've
like
both got Ferraris now, haven't they?
yeah, they both got.
Well, they've both just
£1 million
fucking been to-
houses and
they've both-
Ferraris.
They've both just fucking been to Brazil.
Yeah.
So who's paid for that?
They have actually. They've all
You
been to
know,
Brazil, haven't they?
So
Recently?
your granddad's dead. But
we've also on the table. We've also got our new site cabin on air sign,
Yeah.
which
I've got to say, right.
does this.
That is good.
How
Oh
cool
my
is
God,
that?
That's
Yeah.
amazing. It
Changes
changes
colour.
colour.
Thank you
Can
to
it-
Ryan, one of
Can
our
it go
fans.
Can it go red?
It can
Now-
go, can it go red?
Dave, I find it very, very hard to compliment Ryan
Why?
Because he
I like-
aggravates you on Call of
because
Duty.
I like calling him a bit of a dick.
Yeah, because when you play against him on Call of
He's
Duty,
better
he
than
wipes
me.
you out
Yeah,
basically.
and he's sort of
Dave,
like
I think that's the wrong colour.
closer to
Oh,
me
yeah,
than
it is the wrong colour,
you
yeah,
all-
sorry.
yeah, blue. Don't have blue.
Yeah, we can't have that.
But I've got to give him this. I'm really impressed.
It is
Yeah,
good.
that's a really nice
Well done,
present.
Ryan.
So
That
thank
is
you
a
for that,
really
Ryan. We
good-
really appreciate it. Danny, what's on the table there?
We've got a laser level.
Oh yeah.
This is brilliant. Or if it's in Call of Duty,
Watch out for our. Look at that. I mean,
look at that. I don't think. Oh, I'll put it there. So it's like bang. Is it a laser level, Dave?
yeah.
Or,
It's
or is it a sniper scope?
well, it could be both.
What film is that kind of thing in? Is that like?
So obviously, it does vertical and horizontal. The
it's a great bit of kit. That
the horizontal line stays in place. The vertical can
Should we,
move.
should we see how level?
Danny, if you just put it on the table and fire it at the wall,
Yeah.
you should be able to move the horizontal.
Yeah.
that is great
So
for
that's
brickies
there you go.
on a raft when they're trying to get everything level.
That's
for doing
perfect
it.
for lots of different trades.
Yeah.
Could use that. I mean, tilers could use it.
Tilers.
Yeah. It's also self-leveling as well, so it will
Yeah.
level so that you know it's level.
Yeah.
If you click the unlock button at the bottom of the, no, at the front.
In fact, I'm
The
sure
bottom.
there'll be a.
So now it's unlocked. So now it's self-leveling, so it'll wobble. But once it stays still, that's perfectly level. Based on the table, off the table.
Do you think there's a flat earther somewhere who's done an episode where he's used that to prove that the Earth is flat?
Probably.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Some, yeah, there you go. But pretty cool piece of kit that you may
Laser levels.
you may use as a bricklayer,
the
you may use
future,
as a
isn't it?
joiner. Yeah, any trade, I think plumbers, plasterers,
Loads of trades.
loads of trades would use that. Probably not plant machinists, but ground workers certainly would use
Ground
that.
workers use them.
Like I said, when brickies use them,
It's
all the
flashy
time.
now because it's out of level. So,
You're not level.
No.
so it's flashy now because it's out of level. But,
Great bit of kit.
but yeah, it's a pretty cool piece of kit.
Yeah.
We've also got a couple of bits on the
It's
table.
Specialist bit of equipment.
Oh, look at that! Look what Andy's brought in.
that
Are they
gets
Andy?
overlooked. They're just
Yeah.
earbuds to protect your ears because sometimes I've got a bit of tinnitus. I think Dave has
Oh, I've got terrible
tinnitus. Is it
tinnitus. Oh, it's
Awful.
awful.
But I just ignore it. But just protect your ears. It's not going to concerts. It's probably machinery.
To be honest, it's one of the worst things I've ever had to deal with.
But now I've mentioned it. Now it's buzzing. in
No, I
your ear.
can't hear it now, but when, at night and stuff. And I'll tell everyone when it started. 2 days after I had the first COVID vaccination, tinnitus started, and it has never stopped in that time. And honestly, it is horrible. It's the worst thing ever. And it's firmly. If someone said to me today, and I knew that I was going to get this, I would never have had.
Really?
No way would I have it again. The
jab.
yeah, and I'm not anti-jabber or anything like that.
No,
I'm not.
it's
I'm
just
not.
that's your side effect.
But it's caused me
Yeah.
that time tinnitus or whatever it's called.
Is it?
Tinnitus,
Oh,
whatever
it's
it is.
just the worst thing ever. If you're in a room on your own, all I can hear is like this really loud buzzing.
I don't think I've got it as loud as you. I've got mine started. This is a conspiracy theory. with a cocktail stick when I stuck it into my ear to get some earwax out, and I went too far.
Oh, yeah,
Stupid.
Are you serious?
There's your eardrum.
You've probably
I've
damaged
not
your.
burst it. It was years ago I did it. I was just like, oh, my ear's blocked. So I thought, as they say, never put anything smaller than your elbow in your ear. Stupid.
Well, yeah.
But I didn't go that far. I think I pushed earwax into it.
So listen,
It's a conspiracy.
to all
That's what I
those that
mean.
listen in construction, put your ear defenders on.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
no,
I'm
yeah.
telling you
and
now-
eye protection.
Yeah,
I had a few beers.
Yeah.
As
I am
well,
telling
so,
you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy, I didn't know you put a cocktail stick
No,
in
it
your
wasn't
ear.
like a big one. It was just a little bit, and I think I went too far. Then
Where else did you put your cocktail stick?
what do you mean?
Did you try it anywhere else?
Oh,
No.
for God's sake,
No,
Danny's
nothing
got
like that.
a bit of an obsession. This podcast with
No.
no.
The other one I want to talk
That's
about, David.
probably the
This-
stupidest thing
The
I've ever done.
extension lead,
Right,
the trusty extension
we've
lead.
done. Sorry, Fred. We've done
No, we'll put Fred down. He'll be back in a minute. Don't worry.
13 episodes.
Yeah.
It's a good
We've
one, that.
never talked about that.
What?
And you pulled it out before, and I thought, brilliant.
What an invention for construction
Just
that
so
is.
simple.
The extension
Right,
lead
I need to get what.
I need to get
electricity
power from there.
to there.
to over there.
Yeah.
How am I going to do it?
Right, let's get a wire.
Oh, just get an extension lead.
Yeah, brilliant.
How
I mean,
cool are they?
It's still
What?
every site, everything, or I don't care if you
What's
talk
that? Is
about
that
110 or
10 metre
whatever, right, has this. They
You
haven't.
need a good one.
I'm not sure what it is actually.
Do you know how bad it is? I carry an extension lead in my car.
Do you?
Yeah, all
it's a
the time.
25 metre
Yeah.
extension lead.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's
25 metres.
decent. That.
That's like
Decent
that's
size.
not a DIY extension.
Yeah.
That's a
They
proper
do,
one.
but they also do like 110 extension leads for sites and stuff, don't they,
Yeah,
as well,
but-
and transformers
yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
But what an underrated piece of equipment
It
that,
is.
that
It is
nobody really
underrated.
we just take we all take for granted.
So
Can you imagine if that wasn't in existence?
I know.
It's a totally random one. I think 110 is gradually going out because I think batteries are getting better.
Yeah, good shout. Good shout.
They are. Do you know what's
I
weird
feel-
though?
go on.
I've got a good decent amount of power tools and I've got some battery power tools and they are good. But, and this is unpopular opinion,
Go on, Danny.
there are still certain tools I would want.
Do you mean like your
Full power.
My chop saw. It's a big argument,
your
and I know the
Festool and
batteries
stuff
are
like
made. There's a
that.
Festool.
Yeah.
I still want it. I still want it as 110.
I don't think there's any way getting away from it that if it's a plugged in, whether it be 110,
Yeah, you get that
you get a better
But it's
kick,
not, it's not as safe.
Yeah.
but it's not as safe. Exactly, yeah.
But I'm sure more batteries are getting better.
They are. They
They're
are.
getting
I mean,
better. Like is it the 5 volt
the-
one?
Yeah, it's probably a conversation to have with Data Power Tools
Yeah.
who follow us and we follow
Yeah.
them, Data Power Tools. So
Yeah.
you know we've been waiting for you to come on the show and have a chat with us about the tools and stuff. And actually they'll say to us that they've been waiting for us to come back to come over to them, and we are going to organise
So
that.
like two people who like each other at school, but like, well, I, you
Yeah,
know,
like
we're gonna make them-
we're
I'm
basically
gonna
like
make them-
punching the
punching
shoulders
yeah,
at the
pulling the
moment.
hair and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. Basically, yeah. The other thing we brought for the table, Andy, if you just have a grab it, was the light. So it's fully rechargeable. We're not trying to sell any of these, by the way. We're just pretty cool like
Just
gadgets.
useful.
Andy, don't try and blind the producer, but if you just turn the light on at the back, so there's a button at the back.
Oh, you're gonna
Press the button. It's a little soft button. He's struggling now. Under the charge. Do you want me to do it?
It's because they didn't have any in that Russian Revolution, isn't it?
You can't find the button. And
Oh,
it's
there,
under,
yeah.
under
Oh,
the
it's
metal.
there. No, it's
press
got down.
it.
It's
So
got
press
down.
it once.
Right, I'll do it.
There you go.
that's
And press
not
it
bad.
again. Press it again.
That's not bad. You see that?
That's even full blast now.
Bloody hell.
But you have
I'm getting
ways
a- I'm
of
getting a suntan.
of making you work.
Yeah, there are 4 lights. Shout out
Oh,
to Star Trek.
That's a great episode.
So just with that, by the way, I mean that has messed with my eyes now, big time. Jesus,
that's
Yeah, you're going to be seeing
powerful.
that square light in
That'd
your
be
eyes
great
now.
in a
forever.
loft.
that is really powerful. It is really powerful. It's fully rechargeable, right? That again, we're not selling it, but if anyone wants to
Yeah.
give us one of them for free, and we'll put it on and we'll put a link on. I don't care. We'll do it. We'll happily do it. But guess what else you can do with that? Look at the back of it. Look at the back of it. The back. You can charge your mobile phone.
Oh, you can.
Oh, that's good.
It's a USB charger as well.
Very good.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
That's good.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I bought that for the extension when we were building the extension.
So you can do it in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so I was working on it at night time before my electrician came on board,
Well,
and
so you
sort of
get
got the second fix in. I bought that because it was working.
winter
at nights and
months, you can
stuff.
get an extra hour out of it, can't you? You know, quite dark at 4.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So bit of a gadget. Oh, and the last thing that we've brought for the table, Dan, grab it. If you can grab that. I know it's a bit. Well, maybe it's not boring. Maybe it isn't boring. I don't
Surveyor's
know.
tape.
What is it?
Surveyor's tape.
Surveyor's tape. So it's how long is this one? It's a, does it say? Oh, 30-metre tape.
30 metres.
30-metre tape. So, you know, you get your normal average tape and they break dead quickly, don't they? And they get knackered dead quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas, what's the circumference of your head, Danny?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you've got quite a big head.
I've got quite a big head actually.
What is it?
Was it from
Turn
there?
it round the other way. You've got
About
inches on the other side.
64,
600 mil? Circumference?
640.
600 mil. Big head.
You have got a big head.
Could we have an episode where we all measure each other's heads?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We could do that. We'll need that for the weddings that you're going to anyway, I suppose. Are you going to wear a hat for the wedding?
I don't, I don't know.
Not for my wedding. We're not wearing one for my wedding.
I hope not. It's in Greece.
I think we should all, all those old-fashioned fireman's helmets that were made out of metal.
Do you know what?
I think we should wear them for your wedding.
Well, I mean, I suppose another underrated piece of equipment that
definitely.
we've never really spoke about
Definitely.
is the hard hat. I mean, we've kind of touched on it.
We slag it off a lot.
We don't
Yeah, 'cause
really
does
like it,
everybody's
do
heads
we?
in.
We don't,
Yeah.
but
how many
when it
times
comes
have,
in,
you
it comes in.
have you been walking under a piece of scaffolding and you stick your head up and you go,
Yeah.
and on a nut?
Oh, it's
How many times
awful.
have I done that on a nut on my head?
I've
It's
had a bit
horrible.
of brick hit my head off a scaffold and it bloody hurt. I didn't
It's
have an
awful.
hard arm.
It's them nuts on a scaffold.
Yeah. So, can anybody tell me what the clock on the front of the hard hat is inside? So it's a printed, moulded clock.
I
Is
have
it
no
expiration
idea.
date?
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
exactly that, and it's the expiration date. Do you want to read the expiration date there? Do you know what it is?
1997, when house prices start to go up.
How'd you work that out?
So there's a number in the middle,
17?
17. Yeah,
17,
yeah.
17 for the first.
So no. That's the year 2017. I think so. This
And
hard
it's
hat,
still going strong.
this hard hat, I think. Or are we the opposite way round
Yeah,
here?
it just means you can't eat it after then.
Yeah, I mean it's the British standards and all. That
I
sort of
didn't
stuff.
know that.
Yeah. It's either the birthday
And
or the
if I'm honest,
exploration
neither
or
do
the
I.
exploration
So you
date.
don't check the hard hats of all of your learners when
Yeah,
you're assessing
that's on
them?
every hard hat.
No.
Well, it should be nowadays. That's the printed on it. I suppose really we need to get right what we're saying.
I
here.
shouldn't. I think there should be a big.
Talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I Google this just for a second.
There should be an electronic countdown clock on every hard hat, so you know
It's
going
quite
down.
that's obviously fits me quite well.
Is it yours?
For your big head,
Yeah, that's
hard
perfect.
hat
So, let's see
expiry.
if I've got a big head. If it fits
That's
me,
it. So if it's too loose,
it's too loose.
that means I'm cleverer than you.
No,
Okay, so inside of the hard
it's
hat,
right. Oh, it's about right.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
We've got the same shaped head.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do it. Should we do a
As David,
podcast?
see if it fits David. See
That
if we've
means
all
I
got the
know
same
more about the
shaped
Russian
head.
Revolution than you.
Should we do a
was
podcast
horrible.
where we all wear the hard hat one day? Oh, it does. It fits. Yeah.
Just
We've
fit.
got a similar shaped.
We've all got
heads.
the same shaped head. So the statistic for the clock that's moulded into the hard hat is the Health and Safety Executive says, as a general guide, industrial safety helmets should be replaced no more than 3 years after the manufacture date, which is what that is.
All right, so you get a few years.
But
out.
always check with the manufacturer. Some manufacturers even recommend replacing the suspension in your hard hat every 12 months. So that is the manufacturer's date. And it was 2017. So
3 years. That
it's
date.
3 years it's 3 years after that you should replace
I know
it.
this is one of your favourite stats, but where did they originally come from? The hard hats. You know this. This is your thing, isn't it?
Do I know this? I don't.
Well, we talked about it earlier.
Have we talked about it?
The Hoover Dam.
Oh, did they come from the Hoover Dam? Is
I
that
thought-
where?
I thought you
is
told
that
me
where?
this.
I might have done.
They were before they actually started building it. They had to chisel out a load of rock on the sides of the canyon, didn't they?
Oh yeah, no, they had to divert the river.
Yeah. It's
So
channels-
to
channels
keep it
around
going.
the
So
side.
they drilled 2 tunnels
Yeah.
to keep the water flowing whilst they built the dam. Then they blocked the dam with
That's
rocks, and then they built the Hoover Dam. It's one of the greatest civil engineering
It is.
feats in history.
But when the blokes were on the sides of the dam on ropes chiseling stuff out,
Yeah, is that when they invented
they
it?
got the baseball caps and they dipped it in tar.
Oh, they did.
I'm sure you
No,
told me
I
this.
might have
You
done.
told me
Yeah,
this.
they did. They did.
But
Why didn't no one just work? No one.
But
worked
then they
below them?
created their own hard hat. No, so when the rocks were coming off, that they were, sort of loose rocks.
I mean, I'll ask you both a question now, right? If you worked on a building site today,
Yeah.
and you were given the option to, you can wear a hard hat or you don't have to, which one would you take?
I'll tell you
I'll have
now.
it with me when
Depends where I'm walking.
yeah,
or
if
where I'm
I'm out
working.
and about underneath,
So
definitely.
if I'm walking
Would.
underneath scaffold, I'll shove it on.
Yeah.
If I'm walking in and out of a house where there's scaffold, I'm shoving it on.
If you're up in the open air and nothing
But,
above you,
but if
then
there's
I don't
nothing
think it's a
above it,
problem.
or if I'm in a living room fitting skirting board,
Yeah.
it's fucking coming
It's
off.
coming off, yeah. I know what
It
you mean.
depends on the situation.
I don't mind that rule like Bricky's having it next to him when they're on, because there's nothing above them. Is
Nothing
there?
above
Maybe
when
unless
they're on the
they-
top
unless
left.
there's something coming in on a
When
crane
Or
you're-
even as a
something.
scaffolder, maybe.
Yeah,
you're
but
on the
when you're
top.
walking
yes.
around site, I think you should all have them
Yeah,
on,
especially when you're
because
ducking in and
someone
out.
could just lob a piece of brick
And it
off
does
by
all the
accident,
time.
or it does happen, or a scaffold tube comes
Yeah.
off, or whatever.
You get a bit of mortar down your back.
Yeah.
Oh,
But when
That's when
you're
you
in a
go down.
house and you fit in architraves,
Yeah, you don't need a hard hat.
Yeah,
do you?
you can take it
common
off.
sense.
Yeah.
Common sense. Because also in the sun, they sweat like it.
Oh, they're awful.
Horrible.
Summertime,
Like a
they're
pressure
awful,
cooker
aren't
on
they?
your brain or
They're
something.
a
No,
nightmare.
I am a fan of them.
There's nothing worse, is there, than that shout from somebody in the distance. Get your hard hat on. Put your hard hat on. It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're like,
it's a
oh,
bit of
mate.
discretion.
Fuck off, you weird.
I know. Well, I know.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're
Well,
doing
no,
their
it
job.
depends. No, they're doing
Depends
the job.
where you
but-
are.
They're looking after the safety of the site.
Yeah,
At the end
but
of the day.
there's
If
got
you're in an
to-
open
yeah.
area and there's nothing above you,
And with all
Don't worry about
PPE
it.
though, there's got to be like I'm a boots is a definite for
yeah.
me.
And I don't mind
Right.
wearing a
But
vest.
wearing
nobody wears a
gloves.
vest.
High vis. Nobody bothers with the high vis. As in, nobody bothers wearing high. Nobody bothers that they have to wear a high vis. I mean,
I hate
People
who-
are happy to
who
wear a high
put it
vis.
into ropes.
Oh yeah.
I hate that.
Do you mean like the little?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what they are.
Like,
What
for
they look
me,
Like
yeah.
a high vis crop top.
Yeah.
They-
Oh,
them-
love it. Oh,
them
hate
people
it.
do exist, don't they?
Yeah,
Them
hate
people
it.
do exist on site. And you think,
What are you doing?
What are you doing,
This is
mate?
what you do. Do you know what?
You're not in a
what-
beefer.
Now we're on PP, right? I'm getting on it, right?
people who don't
Do
wear
you know
shades
what I
and-
don't get, right? For me, people will wear that,
Yeah.
right,
And
and
that just
that,
Yeah.
and then use a grinder and not wear a mask or gloves.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
or
oh,
goggles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or, sorry, or
Yeah, yeah.
goggles, right?
I've seen
But
loads
they
of
wear
lads do
that,
that.
Yeah.
and they're stood there with the dildo going, right, and these fucking bits of shit flying everywhere,
Everywhere,
and they've got a high vis on. Mate,
Yeah.
that's not important.
No, it's true. It
Your
is true.
eyes and your mouth.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No,
Actually.
there is a point.
The
to it, especially
the high
dust.
vis is mainly for.
I think gloves is a
machinery
different-
movement, isn't it? Across
Yeah.
Well, you
That's-
don't.
yeah.
Once you got it on, you don't care.
No, that doesn't matter. I mean, you
Yeah.
can buy high vis t-shirts. What do you think about them?
I don't mind them.
A high vis
I mean,
t-shirt.
well, we can-
But you've basically got a high vis hoodie anyway.
I don't mind the t-shirts.
What were you going to say about gloves? Because
I think
I
gloves
don't
should be optional. I think some people. Somebody asked me today. Funny enough, I was be careful what I say, but I was
Depends on the gloves.
watching them, and they said, "Do I need to wear gloves?" And I said, "Oh, I can't say. It's your decision." And the truth is, no, they didn't need to wear gloves because it's their decision, and it's to do with what they were mixing. And it doesn't state you have to. It's just a recommended.
For a manufacturer's recommendation.
Manufacturer's
Probably
recommendation.
would wear them then if it's a manufacturer's recommendation.
But it's not. It's a recommendation. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
And
not. You
a
have to.
prerequisite.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
So
requirement. yeah.
I wouldn't. But funny enough, here's one for you. When I'm moving dry timber,
yeah.
I
Oh,
put
yeah.
gloves on.
then it, 'cause I changed my job at Christmas.
Yeah.
I've been working a
Your-
lot
your
more with
hands.
timber and machinery, but I've stopped wearing gloves. But the amount of splinters,
Splinters.
Yeah.
you get.
Brick
but
is-
at the
brick
same
is-
time, though, it's still like
No.
you need that. Sometimes with gloves, you leaves that sensitivity when you.
I
working stuff.
handled the other day. I was given to hold a new form of insulation technology. It's a bit like an aerogel type technology. It's only that. It's only really thin.
material or something.
Yeah, it's only really thin. And the chap that handed it me said, "You'll hold it, but you'll hand it back to me very quickly because it draws all moisture from your hands."
Really?
And I can honestly tell you
Right.
within seconds,
It's like it's burn almost.
it was my hands were so dry.
That's
I
interesting.
needed to put them underwater straight away. It was
Really?
it was incredible.
What do you mean? It's like sucking the
So it
moisture out
sucks-
of your
that's
pores.
interesting.
It drew the moisture out. It was incredible.
Oh, how
it was
long-
that fast.
Wow.
It was frightening, and that was just from maybe 30 seconds of holding it, and it drew the moisture
So
out.
was it? I bet that was like a weird sensation.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was weird. It wasn't very comfortable at all. It was like an aerogel type insulation property, which is specifically designed to
trap-
put into buildings,
yeah.
into like timber framed or cavity walls of
That's
buildings,
amazing.
or the cavity area of a building that prevents any moisture striking through at all. It is an incredible piece of kit.
I wonder if that'll help with mould in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like it's a bit breathable, draw out the moisture.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what causes, you know.
I also saw the other day. I mean, we're nearly finished actually, guys. But I also saw the other day a new brand new developed wallpaper that is infrared. So it's infrared wallpaper that you plug in. That's got a very low level current going through it,
Heat it.
but it heats the wall. It heats the wall. It's wallpaper that heats up.
That's amazing.
So
radiators.
well, in the future,
But it's like a very, very low current.
it's a low level. Infrared heats the mass. It doesn't heat. It heats so.
I mean, it's going to take 100 years, but gas is
You know,
gonna
kind of
go,
like
isn't
when you put your hand past the curtain with the crack of light shining through.
You can feel
it's
it.
warm there, but not there, and not there, but it is there.
That's what sets off that trap in Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. The shadow passes through the.
Yeah.
But
Still
infrared
haven't figured out
wallpaper
how
with heat. How mad's that? We'll probably do an episode on
I still haven't figured
green
out
technologies soon.
How
coming up.
I think we should.
the ancient people who built that, I don't know how they did that.
You know what? I also want to do an episode on ancient building
Definitely.
monuments.
I
And,
do one on pyramids.
yeah, we'll do one on. Well, we'll cover a few of them.
Well, should we get an alien on as a
No,
guest?
I would love an alien on as a guest.
Graham
That's who
Hancock.
built it. I'm telling you now.
Graham
that's who
I would
built
love
it.
Graham Hancock
built
on.
it.
Graham Hancock talk about building
Yeah,
practices.
I mean,
that Anthony
Rebecca
Bourdain,
Leckie
that
and-
documentary about how it's an internal ramp.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I've seen it.
I think people did it.
Yeah.
There's
No
no
chance.
TV.
Well-
There's nothing else to do.
No.
Oh, let's go and finish
No.
the pyramid off.
No.
And on
That's
that
what it was.
on that bombshell, and we will do
Aliens.
further episodes about. No, we will about
No.
ancient technologies and
I saw
ancient
a film.
building
I know who
techniques.
built it. It's a guy called Apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
That
yeah,
starts
yeah,
that film. It's great.
Yeah,
It's
X-Men. I
great.
think you're talking about X-Men.
it's
We're
a documentary.
pretty much done for the evening.
Yeah.
It just leaves me to say thank you for listening and watching. Danny, Andy, thank you for your time again and your
No worries.
opinions. Always helpful.
Yeah, I'll keep you up to date on
Hopefully,
the revolution.
Andy will definitely be back on a few more episodes. I know he will because it's going that way. So I'm not even going to ask him. We're just going to invite him back. And he's going to come back.
Yeah. Get a
Not
better
all the
book
time,
though, 'cause
though.
that's
I
fucking
don't
boring.
want to, leave him wanting more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get
Maybe
a different book though next time.
maybe
A
yeah.
bit more interesting.
Yeah, let's read
The
something.
revolution. That's like one of the most climatic things. in
Nobody
human
cares.
history.
I've fallen asleep. No.
I've read a great science fiction. Oh, all right.
Right, let's wrap this up. We'll be back next month, as always, of course. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate. Look out on TikTok, our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter for all our updates and videos.
Local post office.
Please make sure you give us a like, give us a follow on, and subscribe to us on YouTube, as always, of course. Danny's just pointed at all the things, social media things there. That wasn't great, but doesn't matter. As in, that speech wasn't great. The podcast was good. I really enjoyed it tonight, guys.
It's good. It's
Thank
a bit political.
you.
And
Yeah, a bit of
very
everything.
opinionated.
Bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next month. Goodbye.